thousands of police officers will be deployed at more than 23,000 voting stations for the elections come Monday. Now, the men and women in blue are expected to prevent crime and intimidation of voters, as well as other electoral role players. The South African Police Union says its members are ready to secure the election. Let's bring in our guest, Lesiba Thobakgale, who is the union's national spokesperson, joining us now via our video link. Lesiba, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for making time to chat to us here on Newzroom Afrika. So it's pretty clear that the union itself is on board in creating some kind of visibility come the 1st of November. However, I also imagine you're also not trying to completely militarize voting stations. Help us understand how you're negotiating these two things, being visible, but also not being overbearing.
Thank you, Ayanda. Good morning to yourself and also to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. As SAPU, we know that our members who took the oath of office when they became to be police officials, they are carrying a constitutional mandate in order to ensure that they maintain law and order, to ensure that the elections are free and fair in terms of policing. And within those 23,151 voting stations, there are deployments that will be made within those areas. And the main thing is just to ensure that policing it is there, that visibility is maintained. And in case there is anything that happens untoward, our members will always be ready to ensure that they bring stability and peace is maintained within those areas. And we've maintained that, we've ensured that our members, as they are deployed within those areas, we have consulted with the employer at the Safety and Security Sectoral Bargaining Council to look into these deployments in order to ensure that our members, even those who will be working within rural areas, are indeed covered when it comes to all the resources that they need when they will be performing those duties. And we also looked at the issues of their compensation, because this is indeed a special event which has been declared by the National Commissioner in terms of the SAPU Agreement 2 of 2014. And the issue of compensation, that's where we also come in very well as a union, because it is our responsibility to ensure that as our members are carrying this responsibility to ensure that there is law and order that is maintained within the election period, which is starting from Saturday up until Monday, they are also compensated in accordance. And as we speak, Ayanda, we are glad to mention that us as SAPU, as we speak now, we are moving with as management across the provinces in order to ensure that through the provinces and also through the commanders, because everything is happening there on the ground level, in order to ensure that the national instruction that has been issued out, and even the instruction that comes from the Office of the National Commissioner, even those that are coming from the provincial commissioners, that there is clear understanding in terms of how it should be implemented. Yeah. We want everything to have synergy. That is what we are doing. We are within these provinces as we speak up until Friday to ensure that our members are well covered. We don't want anyone coming and implementing any collab instruction in any other way, because we want to make sure that our members are well taken care of whilst they are saving the country. Yeah. They are supposed to be doing.
Let me come in there, Lesiba. It's interesting you mentioned the issue around compensation. Are you able to take us into your confidence around what the unions are actually hoping for around compensation with the elections?
As per the National Commissioner, as he declared this event to be a special event, the SAPU Agreement 2 of 2014, that is the one that speaks to the special event over time. So there's compensation that is outlined within that agreement as per day to say what amount of money our members are they expected to be receiving. And when it comes to the issue of meals, they are also covered. Those who will be working within those remote areas, those who will be working within long hours. There are others who will be remote, who will be deployed from other provinces to other provinces, like KwaZulu-Natal, you've got your Western Cape, you've got Gauteng, and so on, and also Eastern Cape. So those members, we are just ensuring that we have ensured during that consultation that they are compensated in accordance when it comes to their SMTs, so that their accommodation can be sorted out. We don't want to find a member, you find that he's working at Kwatlaeza, deeper, rural KwaZulu-Natal, or maybe Enugu, you find that they don't have accommodation, they don't have necessary things that they need in order for them to perform their duties. Because as and when they perform in these duties, they need to be comfortable, they need to be taken, they need to be well taken care of, so that they can police the elections in accordance. And with the understanding we've created and what we have agreed upon, our members will be compensated in accordance. And anything else that is above the date that is declared to be a national event, which is starting from the 31st, the 31st, the 1st and the 2nd, anything else above that, our members, they qualify to get overtime if they are still performing election duties.
Yes.
So we have ensured as a union that compensation it is done in accordance so that our members can be able to benefit and not be taken advantage of.
Right. Have these issues in the past, Lesiba, been a problem? These matters that not only you're outlining but are certainly emphasizing in our conversation, have they arisen? For instance, have you had in the past situations where police don't have accommodation despite being deployed to some polling stations in the far-flung areas of our country?
They have happened before, mostly those who get deployed within rural areas, because you find that they are not from around, and even within those areas, you find that the issue of accommodation is a problem. So we have ensured that SAPS management needs to ensure that our members are accommodated in accordance. They need to ensure that there are contingency plans in place that will ensure that our members are comfortable, so that when they go to perform their duties, they do not have grievances, because they are carrying a very great responsibility to ensure that these elections are going to be free and fair. And policing, it plays a very important role. And also on the issue of interpretation of what we call the follow-up instructions, which outline what should happen, who should be deployed, and so on and so on. You will find that in the past that commanders are interpreting it otherwise, because there's also an issue of the cancellation of leave of our employees. Within this period, cancellation of leave has taken place between the 25th and also up until after the elections. So we are looking at those issues. We just want to ensure that there is a clear understanding and a clear interpretation that if maybe once leave is cancelled, that we have placed it on record as SAPU that when it comes to festive season, they need to ensure that they don't cancel leave of everyone who has been deployed. There needs to be a fair process that applies, because we know festive season, it is also around the corner, and our members need to ensure that they are policing our communities even during festive season and also in elections as it will be happening within this period.
Interesting labor issues that are emerging from all of this. There are people who are also saying that this plan to try and ensure that there is presence throughout all of the voting stations is a bit of an ambitious one. With the knowledge you have about the police's capacity and the many challenges that exist, do you agree with that?
Under the capacity, it is an issue at a broader spectrum. And we've been on record addressing to say we need more police officials. But in terms of the consultation of the deployment that we have made, we have ensured that there is, within the 23,151 voting stations, there are 53,854 members who will be deployed. There is no any voting station that would be without any police officials who would be static, and there will be others who will be roving around, who will be patrolling to visit these polling stations. And in case there's any challenges that would be happening within any voting station, we are clearly confident, because we know that through the deployment plan that we have started on, that our members will be able to receive backup, they will be able to receive assistance. And if there's any dire situation that happens, we know there is also the reserve team that would be moving across the country through a chopper, and need basis happens. So we want to reassure, joint SAPS management, and reassure our communities out there that our police officials would be there to ensure that all these voting stations have police officials, they are policed in a proper way, that law and order is maintained, and there would not be any voting station that has no police officials.
Yeah. Speak to us about when the deployment typically takes place, and I appreciate if you can't give us any dates for obvious reasons, but typically a lot of the places that are hotspots would flare up sometimes before the election day, with anticipation that, of course, they'd cause a disruption on the day itself.
Yeah, you're correct to say, we cannot give quite the breakdown, but what we know that the deployments, they start from the election period. The election period, it starts when there is a special vote that will start as from weekend and even going through into the designated election day, and even post-elections. Our deployments are across the board. Our members would be across the board in order to ensure that everything goes in accordance. And even wherever places that are classified as hotspots, or maybe they are classified as high risk in terms of whatever work that's done by the state security or crime intelligence, we are definitely confident, because through consultation, we know that there is a plan in place to ensure that those places are indeed capacitated, and we have our members that are there so that policing can be done in accordance, so that our communities may be safe, they can feel safe when they are going to be casting their constitutional right in order to vote within those areas.
Lesiba Thobakgale, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Lesiba is a spokesperson for the South African Police Union, getting us an idea of what they're worried about and thinking as they prepare to ensure that the polling stations come the 1st of November are as secure as possible to ensure a free and fair election. Once again, Lesiba, thanks very much indeed.